So hey there, now we are going to discuss the major project risks. Well, there are many major risks associated with project management or with projects, and we need to identify them, analyze them, and address them. That's very important. Let's move on. The most important or the first risk that may creep up is the scope risk. Well, what is a scope? What is project scope? It's a part of project planning that involves determining and documenting a list of specific project goals, deliverables, tasks, costs, and deadlines that need to be done. So the scope is simply what a project needs to accomplish. During the project, this documentation helps the project team to remain focused and on task. Well, scope risks are the tasks that can endanger project objectives, deliverables, or the timeline, etc. And what we mean by when we say something is out of scope, well, it's something that we are doing in the project's life cycle that shouldn't have been included in the project. So when we go and we do something that is not included in the project plan and we do that, then the scope risk comes in. After that it is a time risk, one of the most important risks, also known as the schedule risk. And it is a risk that activities that are a part of the project will take longer than expected and is typically the result of poor planning. It is very much related to the cost risk because slippage in the time or the schedule, they increase the costs and also delay the outcome of the project, and also they have a negative impact on the benefits of the project. Well, delays result in missed timelines and possible loss of competitive advantage, and this schedule risk leads to cost risk because longer projects cost more. So it's very important to address this risk. Now the next risk is the cost risk. Well, as I said, time and cost risk, these are very much interdependent, or we can say these are related to each other. Well, it is simply cost risk is the escalation of project costs as was planned during the project planning phase, and it means that a project will cost more than the budget allocated for it. And it's most common project risk, and it is due to poor budget planning, inaccurate cost estimating, and scope creep. We'll discuss about that sometime, but the cost risk is very common, and it shows that it is the biggest threat to the businesses because it directly connected with the financials. And cost risk as well as the time risk, as I said, these are directly proportional. You can say that time risk will lead to cost risk, and the cost risk will also lead to time risk or the schedule risk, and also the performance risk as is shown here. After that, technical risk. This is also very important risk that occurs. Well, it is a potential for any technological failure to disrupt a business, and this happens a lot. Companies may face many types of technology risks, such as the information security incidents, that is IT related risks, cyber attacks, password theft, and machinery breakdown. And these are technical aspects. After that, there is the communication risk. Well, communication serves as the most vital tool that a project manager uses for forging positive working relationships with the team members, so that will ensure the success of the project. Now, a project manager must clearly and openly convey information and details to all the team members, the stakeholders, the vendors, the third parties, and everyone involved in the project must be well aware of all the things. Well, if the project manager is not able to convey the information to everyone, there is always the risk that the other party will not understand their point of view, and this lack of communication causes lack of clarity and leads to confusion, and this needs to be addressed as well. Now there are miscellaneous risks or contingent risks. Well, these are the risks that are associated with external hazards, the external risks. And some examples are the earthquakes, cyclones, storms, floods, sabotage, vandalism, labor strikes, and civil unrest. And as project risk management, as we have known that we need to be proactive, and that's why planning for these risks is very important, because contingencies and the allied risks are bound to appear in the project life cycle. We can take the example of the COVID-19 and see the impact it had and it still has on project management in the world. Well, what we need to do so that these risks we can mitigate their effect, or how we can eliminate some of these, and that is the work of the project risk management. But in simple terms, well, we know that no project can be planned accurately, and it cannot be managed down to every single possibility. So there may be something that we're missing, or there may something maybe there that has come out of nowhere, which we were not anticipating, or we were not planning for that. But when we work within the reasons and within the given limitations, uh, the need is to bring about as much predictability as possible. So we need to be ready for every and every contingency. Now the emphasis lies on this, that we need to be proactive, and that comes in the planning phase. Well, the key is remembering that the project constraints are how they impact each other. Uh, Actually, what the project constraints are, how they impact each other, and when they indicate a change in course is necessary. That means if project constraints impact each other, impact the project life cycle, and impact the outcome, then there should be a change in course of action, and we need to be proactive. We need to be innovative in our ways. The project manager needs to be innovative, and we must keep in mind that projects constantly change and evolve during the project life cycle, and thus they require a balance of preparation and responsiveness. Very important point.